See how passengers are being affected. Let's get an update. We've got ENCA's Heidi Jokos at OR Tambo International Airport, Ronald Masinda at Cape Town International Airport, and Slindelo Masikane at Lanseria. Well, let's start off with Heidi at OR. Heidi, good morning. We come to you this hour, and I understand you've got Tladi with you, who speaks on behalf of SAA. They had 4 domestic flights either cancelled this morning, and they had to combine with others in order not to inconvenience their passengers too much. What's the latest?
Exactly, Bradan. So let's get the latest from SAA spokesperson Tladi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Just speak to us about the impact of these flights being grounded on SAA passengers. How many flights are we looking at? What kind of disruption has happened because of the grounding of these flights?
We are operating an amended flight schedule today because a decision was taken that we must recall some of our aircraft following an exercise that was conducted, which was an audit exercise which made a finding on one of the aircraft types. On the basis of that, then we had to follow the processes in terms of recalling this aircraft so that they must undergo what is referred to as a compliance verification process in order to ensure that these aircraft are both compliant and that they are safe, meaning that they will be able to operate as airworthy aircraft. So on the basis of that, we have had a slight impact on our schedule, and this has manifested in the form of an impact mainly in the domestic market of our network, where we saw a maximum of about 4 aircraft that were impacted in the form of delay, and where 2 others were also impacted where we had to combine aircraft. Where we were able to make a recovery on the basis of this was for us to deploy bigger aircraft that were able to accommodate the 2 flights that were impacted. This is on the basis of our contingency plans, and that has enabled us to minimize the impact on our customers. Hence, in the morning, the impact has been minimal. It is not busy at this time of the day because it is mid-morning, as you can see in the background. The biggest traffic is in the early hours of the day, where there's an international traffic in the form of the inbound flights arriving. And insofar as those ones are concerned, we are keeping an eye and will provide an update to our customers and members of the public insofar as the possible impact is concerned, because the international flights operate only in the evening. In the afternoon, we will also be keeping an eye to see whether or not the regional flights that fly into many destinations on the African continent may be impacted or not.
Okay, you're saying you're going to be keeping an eye, but many are watching. Many want to know when things will be back to normal, when flights will, stick to their schedule and won't be delayed or cancelled. Do you have any indication on when things will be back to normal?
By and large, the impact has not been significant because of the exercise that is currently underway. The compliance verification process entails removing the aircraft from service, attending to certain specific issues, and once they have been certified, they are returned back into service. And this is part of the exercise that we have been undertaking on an ongoing basis in order to ensure that we are not running out of the aircraft that can be operated to take passengers to their final destinations.
Okay, so no need to panic for now?
Absolutely, as matters stand, no need to panic. We have analyzed the situation, but we are saying that we are not going to have a false sense of comfort, because anything can happen. In the event the unlikely happens where we are not in a position to respond to the demand, the plans are in place. We know exactly what we need to do, and part of it entails moving the aircraft around based on the demand and the load factors.
Great. Thank you so much, Tladi. We really appreciate your time. So there you have it from SAA spokesperson saying there's no need to panic for now. They have everything under control. Bradan?
Thank you very much, Heidi. Let's get an update now from Cape Town International Airport. Ronald Masinda standing by there. What is the latest situation there? We've just heard Ronald from SAA's Tladi. There's no need to panic yet. Things seemingly under control.
Very good morning once again, Brad Dan from the Cape Town International Airport. It's been less busier now rather than the last time we spoke about an hour ago. Of course, it was a hive of activity just after 9 o'clock as people were scrambling around trying to figure out a plan to get to their destinations on time. I managed to roam around the airport to try and speak to various people who have been affected by flights. One lady who was flying at Kulula.com said that her flight to Durban was delayed by an hour. Just spoke to another lady with a British Airways flight delayed by 2 hours to Johannesburg. But both of those ladies seemed patient enough. One guy that we saw at a Kulula.com line was not that as patient, Bradan, actually having a go at one of the staff members there, saying that this is a terrible inconvenience for him. I tried to get more information from the information desk, but that has not been forthcoming as to how many flights are actually delayed here, because the board behind us is showing quite a number of flights. We also spoke to ComAir's spokesperson, and she basically said that the details of the flights are not forthcoming from her side, but making reference to a statement that they just released a short while ago, saying that things should return to normal from tomorrow onwards.
Okay, thank you very much, Ronald. Let's go now to Slindelo Masigane at Lanseria Airport. Slindelo, good morning once again. Earlier you spoke to us and you were chatting to a passenger who was inconvenienced this morning while trying to catch a flight from Lanseria. What's the latest?
Much of the same, Bradan. In front of me, in fact, I can see a number of passengers here on the viewing deck who have actually received a number of meal vouchers because they were supposed to be taking early morning flights today, but instead, arrived at the airport only to find out that some flights have been grounded and many of theirs being delayed. And if I ask my colleague Joel to just give you a pan to my right, here on the viewing deck where you can see the runway, you can see at least 2 Kulula planes that are here on the runway but not operating. And of course, Kulula is one of the airlines affected by the grounding of some of these planes. And if I can take you through some of the departures that were supposed to take place at around 6 and 8 this morning to Cape Town, those have been delayed to around 10 o'clock this morning. And the flight, the Mango flight to Port Elizabeth has also been delayed. That particular flight was supposed to take off at around 20 to 9 this morning and has now been delayed to around 20 past 11. Bradan, I am joined by another passenger, Mr. Leo Teron, who's actually also flying to PE and is telling me that he's actually attending a funeral tomorrow, but also quite inconvenienced by the fact that there has been a delay in your flight taking off this morning.
That is correct. I think the bad part is we don't get the right information because they told us that the plane has left Cape Town that will execute this flight, but I have some apps that I can look at and that plane is a ghost plane.
So you were telling me just about how you think that this situation is very reactionary and that there should have been more done to prevent this from happening in the first place.
Well, yes, as I told you earlier on, but I think the most important thing is the company should tell the passengers what's going on. All that's happening at the moment, it's been moving out every 30 minutes, every hour. So I don't know if we will go today.
You were telling me that you might have to drive if push comes to shove.
Yeah, I've got, by 2 o'clock I will make the decision, and if I haven't flown then I will get into the car. Then I can still make it till tomorrow. Have you used a meal voucher by any chance? Yes, I did. Yeah.
I'm hoping you're going to leave today.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Thoran. Bradan, that is the latest from Lanseria Airport.
Okay, thank you very much, Slindelo Masigane at Lanseria Airport. Thanks as well to Ronald Masinda at our Cape Town International Airport and Heidi Jokos there at OR Tambo. Monitoring the situation, things seem to be a little bit better